Recent estimates put the number of large trucks on U.S. roads at more than 15 million. While that in itself doesn't seem dangerous, being involved in an accident with one certainly can be. Trucks often weigh 20 to 30 times as much as a passenger car. So today I would like to welcome back attorney Scott Smith from Smith Law Office, who has some advice on how to protect yourself. Always good to see you, Scott.
Thank you for having me back, Robin.
All right, let's talk about some of the most common causes, first and foremost, of being involved in a truck accident.
Well, trucks are larger, as you just indicated, than cars. That means when they're traveling at high rates of speed, they can't stop quickly. We can stop quicker walking, on a bicycle, even in a car. Trucks can't. What they normally do is run into the back of you, and it's never a good result.
And what are some of the causes? Are they driving tired? Are they driving faster than they should?
There are many causes, Robin. Trucking companies are not watching over their truckers like they should because they have limited hours they can drive, but they make them get their truck loads there in a certain period of time. So it causes truckers to drive beyond the hours they're allowed to drive. It makes them tired. They drink too much coffee. They get in problems. They fall asleep.
Yeah, and that can be certainly dangerous. You have talked about a huge $10 million verdict you had involving a car and a truck. You also are, everybody's kind of familiar with, I should say, some of the high-profile cases. We heard about Tracy Morgan, the actor, involved with a Walmart truck. All of these things kind of prove to everyone out there, though, that anything can happen to anyone.
That's correct. These are preventable. That's the thing. What I try to tell people, and someone listening to us today, is these are preventable, but we can't prevent them driving our cars. It's the truckers and the trucking companies that could prevent this. They do a better job of safety. They keep us from getting hit by these trucks, by these tired truckers who are not following the law because they're cutting corners.
So what advice would you give to somebody out there if they're involved in an accident with a semi, if they live to be able to call you, which you have mentioned, that's the problem, is these are very serious accidents. What advice would you give somebody? Well,
first of all, to prevent a truck collision, there's not much you can do, but if you see a trucker and they don't look like they're driving correctly, report them. Call them on the phone. Call the State Patrol. Give them wide girth, especially in intersections if it's the downtown area, because they're going to turn sharply and they could hit you that way. If you're in a collision and you are capable, call the police. Do it like any other collision.
Okay. And then after that, should they always call an attorney? If they are not at fault in this situation, is that a good step to say, listen, I need to have somebody who can represent me and know what they're talking about?
Absolutely. This is not your run-of-the-mill car-on-car collision. If you don't have an attorney who knows the federal regulations, the people that are representing you won't know how to represent you. You need someone who knows the federal regulations. That's what we do. That's why you would call us.
And you have mentioned before that it's important to call somebody like yourself pretty quickly after an accident because you are trying to investigate what happened as well. So what kinds of things are you looking for? What should somebody out there recognize that they need to provide you if they're involved in an accident?
Well, they don't know, and that's why you hire me, because I do know. We need to preserve the evidence. Trucking companies don't always do the right thing. Even though the law requires them to save and preserve the evidence of how the collision occurred, they send somebody right out there right away to not necessarily do that. I'm not saying they're covering it up, Robin, but if that evidence disappears, that gives them a chance to say, it wasn't my fault.
Did these cases, you taking on cases like this, really help hold these trucking companies accountable?
Absolutely. They don't like people like me because we know what we're doing. They know what they should be doing, they know what they didn't do, but then they find out I'm on the other side and they go, uh-oh, it's Smith's on the case. We're going to be answering this one.
All right, so Scott, all it takes to start it all off is a call to your company. We have the phone number, the website up on screen if somebody wants to get in contact with you, so thank you.
Thank you, Robin.